I don't even know if this is a podcast or a sit down interview, whatever it is. I'm so glad for you to explore this opportunity with me.
Yeah.
You asked a good question. You said, what made me do this? What made you come? Because I know I reached out to you. You did do a photo shoot first. But when I said, like, can you record me? I did have to do a lot of convincing.
Mm-hmm.
So just like, was there something that just made you come, or you was just like, oh, I'll go do it for her?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I think whenever you have something creative that you're trying to do, you're trying to start, there's a lot of thoughts that roam in our heads of anxiety and just kind of that fear that comes. But it takes somebody courageous enough to ask a stranger on a Raya app to even, one, come to this. But like you said, you mentioned to come to a photo shoot. And I would say, so that's an honor. So thank you. Two, I think I see in you specifically somebody that's driven, that has a vision, that wants to build something that they can't even see yet, and you're working towards that. So for me, I'm like, I resonate with that because everything I'm trying to build with my stuff, that's what I'm doing too. So it only makes sense to just say yes and then come and yes.
And we figure it out from there.
Literally. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, guys. So he spilled the beans. I did actually meet him on the Raya app. I was not even going to go into that.
I told you I'm real. I got
Actually, you know what? Shout out to Raya, though, because I'm not going to lie. Raya is fire. I just moved to a place where I don't know anybody, and it do allow you to see, like, certain locations, and I'm not that talkative. I'm not, like, out in the club, so I'm not going to just, to meet people, you can kind of get like a brief overview to see like a little bit. So Raya kind of fire, actually. I haven't really actually started dating anybody on there, but I did hear a couple people got married on there on Raya. So, but I think it's really great for networking though.
Yeah.
I just came from Paris. I just came from Paris, and I had a chance to go to the Olympics, and I had a chance to go to like Saint-Tropez, and it was just like being able to like tap in with people from like, you out here too, I'm out here, and just like, cause I went out there by myself, and then I just ended up meeting so many great people. So I will say shout out to Raya. Raya kind of fire.
Why did you go by yourself?
I had somebody going with me. They kind of dropped off at the last minute, and I was like, I already have booked my stuff. I'm still going. I have a thing where I feel like, I think I told you, I met a lady from West Africa, and ever since you said that, it's called a karma check. She like, go places by yourself because you actually see, like, as you grow, as you evolve, the kind of people you meet. Because when you're by yourself, you're only going to meet what you attract and what you put out. And it's either going to be a reflection where you need to go in and work on some things in yourself, or you're going to meet really great people that's gonna make sure like it's gonna be so aligned. And I think for me, I went by myself. I think I might have went to eat by myself literally for like 2 hours. After 2 hours, I was not by myself. Like I literally met a whole family that took me in. I met like the greatest people and just really minding my business, but I was never by myself that whole trip.
What do you, as one, that's beautiful. What do you think though? Because this is a totally different question, but have you been able to have that in Dallas, like that connection that you mentioned, being somebody when you go by yourself, you meet people like you. In Dallas, you coming from a different city, a different place, your background. Have you been able to find that here?
Well, no, not yet. I don't, but I'm not really outside either. I think I may have went 2 places by myself here. I went to RH Warehouse. They got a restaurant up there. It was kind of slow. It was kind of, everybody was coupled up. Where else did I go? I think I went out to eat. Actually, last Saturday, I went to a restaurant in Highland Park by myself, and I met a family. It was a couple sitting on side of me, and they was married. And a lot of people speak to me, but a lot of people are in relationships out here, which is really, really great. So I think it keeps things in perspective. And I'd rather see people in relationships than a bunch of people out here single. And I'm not sure if that's where I've been. And again, I don't be outside that much here. I'm still very new. And when I'm here, I'm like at home, I'm working, I'm on the computer, I'm working out. I haven't been to one club here. Like I can't really say I went outside to meet people or to pull that tactic yet.
Yeah, and I'm asking maybe because there's some I think about in myself, like I'm in a stage where I want to build something and I want to surround myself with individuals that also want to do that. And I experience what you see in relationships everywhere. Obviously, I want that too, but where is a space where I can go and meet like-minded people and we're open enough to not be locked into what we're building and actually connect with other people? It's a challenge in the city. And just what was, I guess, for you, when you go, let's say you're in Paris and you meet that family and you spend your time with them, what is the difference between you here and you in Paris? Like, how were you intentionally? I know you say you don't go out much here, but like what, like practically, if you're behind the eyes of you then in Paris, is it a smile? Is it like you actively approaching the family? What made that interaction different enough for you to?
What makes me different here and there, I think in America, I feel like our men are mean to us. And I feel like the culture, the value has really, really shifted on what we put value in. The music, I don't want to say no names, but what people value here is a little bit different than what I've experienced the people value abroad. And over there, I obviously traveling abroad has made me grow. I speak French now because I travel, and I just feel like here I kind of more guarded. I don't want to have to prove myself because I'm talking to you, or prove myself because you feel like I'm black, or I'm like, I just feel like we've been through so much in life. Like, we supposed to just be nice to each other now.
You felt that before?
What? Like
proving yourself?
Yeah, I just feel like it's just too much. It is too many podcasts. It is too much social media. It is what type of woman you need to date, what type of man you need to date. It's too much of too much. And I feel like relationships is personal. And it's what worked for you and that person. And I don't think that's what they do here. And I just feel like it's a lot of fictitious. And I think I'm a little bit more guarded here. Not saying that the love of my life couldn't be here or anywhere, or I feel like what I seek is probably seeking me, but I'm not looking for it. Here, I'm valuing my business. I'm valuing my health. I'm valuing getting to where I need to go so I can just enjoy my life. But in America, I don't feel like dating is my first priority, or even meeting people is my first priority. If I meet you on my path, I appreciate it and I say, hey, but at the same time, I'm used to it being gone too. Like, at the end of the day, if you don't call me, I ain't calling you. Or if it's something, it's just, and it could be me too, but I just feel like the value is just so temporary,
Interesting, because I almost experienced that in myself. Correct me if I'm wrong. I almost hear like the pressure of the expectation, even as a male. What I experience is the pressure of having it financially and having this now to approach someone. So if I've experienced this and some of this is what I work through now, it's like I'm not going to explain everything my life away to you before I meet you for you to talk to me. I'm not doing that. And so I know there's a lot of men that also go through that. It's like I had a conversation at this church I go to, Shoreline City, Dallas, and one of my friends, he came. And he was just like, bro, I be grinding. I'm in the house all week. I come here and that's it. And I was like, why don't we do this? He was just like, why would I go out? I don't have a job right now. I'm applying for jobs. Like, why would I come to a coffee shop to meet with a friend or a girl, or why would I? And I'm like, just outside looking in, you hear how crazy that sounds. You think you're not allowed to experience life because you don't have X, Y, Z yet. that sounds crazy, but that's how we all think in our head. It's the pressure of it to ask you in your situation, just thinking, it almost sounds like you were happier over there without the pressure, just being able to.
I'm happy wherever I'm at. I'm happy at home. I'm a vibe at home. Like, if I feel like I wanted to go and just like have a good time, I would dance in the mirror. I will have my music. I'm just happy what I'm happy with. And I feel like somebody got to be special for me to want them in my space to be happy with them. Because a lot of stuff be a waste of time. Like, I'm not that girl, call me late at night. I'm just like not a lot of these girls. And it's nothing wrong with that. I'm happy wherever I'm at. But when I'm in certain places, I'm more indulged in that opportunity because I'm like, this is, we work to get here, or, you learn here. I'm able to learn something new, and I love learning. So anytime I'm in an environment where I can learn, I'm happier anyway. So I get to soak up so much different things versus when I'm in a space. Don't get me wrong, though. I've been trying to meet friends here. I'm on this app actually called Geneva, and it's for female friends. And it's just like for females to link up. I've just been on something called like Black Dallas Girls Meetup, but not even necessarily black, because I want all cultures of friends. That's why I like to travel. So I be like, I just met up with like 2 girls where I wrote them or they wrote me. I actually put it on Threads. And I was like, who in Dallas would want to be friends?
Threads, yeah.
So
Threads work, yeah.
I'm very open. So I said, who in Dallas want to be friends? And then the post got like 1,000 views. And I don't even have no followers on Threads. I'm never on Threads. But it was just me just putting myself out there because I am in a new state. And some people, you know, they come want to be friends. And I still got to review you because I'm still respective of my space and my boundaries. So I know I can't be friends with everybody as much as I would want to. But as far as like, you know, I would like to have a good girls' day. Like, I'm that type of girl. Like, when I say friends or meet somebody, it don't necessarily have to be me with a guy or me, you know, looking for, I'm not that girl that be like, I gotta go with my friends to go look for a man. I ain't that girl. So it's just like, if I click up with girls and that's all they want to do is look for a man, I ain't gonna be a good friend. And I'm not that person where if I have a guy in my life, just because you're a guy, I'm a girl, that means we need to talk. You know what I mean? I'm a very good friend all in all. Like, I have male friends that's just my friend. When people say girls and guys can't be friends, that's ridiculous because they can. You know what I mean? And that's something wrong with you if you feel like you can't be friends with your homeboy and just, you know, have some values. And that's something wrong with you if you can't enjoy yourself with your females and just talk about life, where y'all at, or things y'all had to work through. When I meet married couples, I'm able to be friends with them. I ask them, how did y'all meet? Give me 3 of your biggest life lessons. Like, I'm always just soaking up as much as I can. And I just feel like I'm not looking for anything. If it comes, it comes. But I'm not like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Like, whoever I get, he got to be great. And I'm working on me to be great. But he also got to be able to be vulnerable and be kind. Like, I don't got time. Like, let's at least put it on the floor so I can know what I want to deal with. So I get with the guy was saying he don't want to come out. He might find somebody that's really to work with him through that. But it's the thing is being yourself, I think, is the greatest thing you can be. And I don't feel like there's a safe space for everybody to be their self, or they don't appreciate that space. And that's the thing. Does that make sense? Like, nobody told you to not be yourself, or nobody told you couldn't enjoy life because we have so much emphasis on what life means, and we think we always got to get here or get there or have a destination, but it's really enjoying the journey and enjoying the company is the most important thing of life, period, because you always gonna have something. I went to church the other day and they was talking about post-Olympic depression, and that was the name of the message. And it was basically when you experience certain pinnacles, right, at that mountaintop, and then you have to come down. So say, for instance, they was just on the Olympics and they got gold medals, but when you go home, you might get depressed. A lot of people get depressed after they experience something high. And then they were saying the suicide rates, the highest suicide profession is astronauts. And they say, because when you experience something and you see in the world, you come back at home like, and I think that's the thing, right? Because if you look at an EKG, it goes up and down, up and down. But if you go this stable where we get, you flatline and you dead. And we always chasing something, right? And when you get up, you go down. You're trying to always get back up, but you really got to understand how to do that life in the valley. And you really got to understand it's the people you with on that journey. That's all life is about, being able to laugh, ha, you messed up, because you're going to get there. Right. But you might come back down, too, trying to get somewhere else because we're ever evolving. But it's really the people in that space.
It's the people in that space.
And that's what life is about.
You
can't go out. He should have had a house party. Can y'all come over here? We about to kick it. We about to figure it out. That's great. I would have came right over his house then. We ain't got to go out. Bring whatever we need right here in the house. And we filling out job applications. Come on, let's do it. You know what I mean? It's those moments that just give us more incentive to live life.
To live life. The moments before you get on Threads and you type that message out, what was that day like? Because there has to be something that urges you to say, all right.
I was on the couch. I was bored. And I give myself, because I am dedicated. I love my books. I was watching Sparkle. I love like old singing movies, the Jackson 5. Like, I can have a good time, but I also know that God don't want to just see me. You know, we are supposed to live in life. So I give myself at least one day to be social, to make sure I would get out the house. And so it was my day to be social. It was Saturday. And I was like, all right, get up, do your hair. I was going to go out to eat by myself regardless. But I was like, I just listened to the spirit. And whatever it say, dude, it be like, go say who want to be friends. Or it'll tell me where to go. I'm here because of the Holy Spirit. You get what I'm trying to say? So I still have to be obedient to that. So no matter how much I'm working, we are supposed to work 6 days, rest 1. regardless. That's all he asks. So you need to be social. He don't want you. And if I do want to get married, my husband can't find me in the house. I ain't said I'm looking for him, but he can't find you in the house.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
I had to ask you because that was actually one of the questions I wrote about you, and that's so crazy. You done turned it down to me. I mean, turned it around to me. But my question was, what is dating in 2024 like for you? And how do you feel about equally yoked relationships?
That's so funny because it's challenging, right? Because everything you just said about the 6 and 1, like my brother, he sent me this Bible, not this Bible, this book to read. It's called The Rest of God. And the idea is to, respect the Sabbath. Like you're supposed to, because I literally like wake up, I grind, I edit videos, and I don't put myself in those spaces. But literally this past weekend, one of my best friends, he plays in Greece and he left on Monday. I went out for like the first time in months. Like I went out in Dallas because I've been traveling, doing a lot of things. I went out to Komodo. Okay. In that area. I said, like Komodo. Oh my God. It's a lot of. See, I've been.
It's a lot of black people.
Yeah, but not even just like, oh, beautiful, but like the scene, it just is different from any other place for me personally I've seen in Dallas. Just the vibe. I was like, dang, this is kind of nice. But to answer your question, dating, it's not there. I can show you a Riot app that I get on and I'm open about and I send voice messages to, but that is so disconnected because for me, like you said, we took pictures and I didn't send you your pictures for a long time.
I still haven't got my pictures.
But I'm using that as an example because I have so much. I'm ADD, so I got a lot of stuff running in my head. And if we not boom, 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 all right, boom, next. Same thing. And it's a challenge that I have even in my friendships. Like I don't, like my friend that I just mentioned, I realized when I was sitting there with him and some other friends, I'm like, dang, like I haven't talked to them in a minute. They be on the game. I don't play the game no more. I don't text nobody back. My friends know that. Like I just don't. My parents
phone on do not disturb right now.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But like I don't know how to get out of that. I'm saying that to say this. The dating is non-existent. And to what you said, it's so funny because a lot of believers be like, okay, I'm waiting on God to do it. God gonna do it. God gonna do it. And something I tell my sisters and I tell myself, one, I'm looking for a wife. I'm looking for a girl. I want kids. So there's a track to get there. For kids, you should probably have a wife. To have a wife, you should probably have a girlfriend. Yeah. To have a girlfriend, you should probably get out the house.
Yeah.
And so I'm believing God for these things, but I'm not acting in faith and doing that as well and just giving myself time. Maybe be at a coffee shop. Maybe go eat by myself or something. I don't do that. And I said my sisters as well. I'm like, you can't want something. And we go back and forth. You can't want something but not put yourself in a place to get dolled up and go sit somewhere. Yeah, I believe a guy should pursue. But like you got to actually be in an environment for him to pursue. And so it's just funny because I experienced that on that other end. There's a lot of people on socials. They might see 6'9" chocolate, big black fine brother too. Emphasis on fine. You understand? And you might think, oh, this guy's doing this. This guy's with girls. I'm not doing nothing. It's almost funny how much I'm not. Like literally. So it's like, I'm glad you asked that question because I don't know how to do it in this age of college was probably the time. I always think college was probably the time to do that because you saw a potential partner over and over, not just our relationship, but how they relate with friends, how they relate with struggle, work. You saw that on a date. Like you have so many touch points with how this person is. You're like, okay, I know this person. But now social media, you only see what they show you. And some people are good car salesmen and some people are lousy. That be the one where your boy send it and you're like, she don't look the part, but he like, nah, trust me, she's and so it's hard because you almost goes back to the thing we were talking about before, like the pressure that comes with that. It makes it challenging even on I won't even say on my end from approaching, but it's just like, there's too much to think about. Let me just focus on what I'm doing. Then it's gonna come. But it ain't gonna come unless you So I don't know. It's something I struggle.
You might need to do that one day thing that I do. Make sure at least you spend that one day. Get out and get active.
And that's why I'm glad you said that because my brother, he's big because my family know how I am. Like, bro, this guy, I go to bed at 10. I wake up at 5:30. I be with my time with God. I write every day in my car. Like I write a ton. And then I start my day. I go work out. I edit. I come back. I edit like blue light glasses on because my head be throbbing.
Oh my God, no.
Like it's a lot. But
what I tell you, that joining the journey. So obviously I be, I think I already told you that's like I was born in the Holy Spirit, but I could hear very clear. And I actually teach a Bible study on Thursdays on Zoom where people come in and we talk about it. We're going to be talking about the book of Numbers and we talk about life in the valley. So I'm kind of like really here on that point. But lately I've been hearing really God say, do you know we are supposed to do relationship? And it's almost as if you're handicapped in a sense. And it should be your emphasis because God is divine, right? So say, for instance, if you think about grapes, it's a bunch. You can't just go in the store and buy one grape.
Right.
You got to get all the grapes, but it's connected to a vine. And he described when they went to the land of milk and honey, when Caleb and them went over there, they came back like, it's going to be grapes where you need two people holding it. And, it was some people that believed and there was some people that still chose to complain and be negative. I feel like all throughout the Bible and even in Ecclesiastes said two is better than one. Because when one falls, you can need somebody else to be able to help you. And the three can't be broken, you know? So he's telling us relationships is most important. And then all throughout the Bible, everybody got healed with another relationship. They wives, he did everything through relationships. So yes, we are supposed to be centered because God is enough, right? So I'm not saying go out there and look for anybody, but we can't be successful in all these other areas, I feel like. And feel like we just going to skip past the relationship part. Like we have to work on it just like we work on our finances, our mental, you have to figure out who you going to do life with.
Right.
And you don't have to make that your focus, but if you have that opportunity, you got to still put the work in because relationships is work too.
Not to cut you out, it's funny.
I'm not in a relationship, by the way, while I'm talking all this good relationship stuff, but I do understand the power in it.
I'm saying because it's a God thing, man, that you just said that because, I just told you I had a conversation with a friend that I'm close with that I felt like I'm losing connection to. That's one. And I talked to one of my friends, TJ Shannon. He got drafted for the Timberwolves. I talked to him for like 3 hours on this, like friendship. And he's helping me like, nah, you need to. And we're talking about friendships because I'm like, dang, I feel like I'm in a point in my life where I know I'm about to go to another level, whether it's social media, whether it's content, whether it's podcasts, whatever. But I don't have people to really share the wins with, one, and really connect with on a level. I don't know. There's like a transition stage where your interest starts to change.
It's lonely in the transition.
I'm telling you.
No, that's real. I tell people like it's not lonely at the top. It ain't lonely at the bottom. But in transition, getting to where you're supposed to be is definitely lonely. Right. It can be lonely.
And it's like the group message, they saying the stuff that the jokes ain't funny no more to me. And it's like, do I think I'm better than them? No, it's just like I don't have the people that know me going where I want to go. So, and we had a long conversation about it. And so it's funny. Earlier, I told you I was in like a 3-hour meeting. It was with this guy that I just met this weekend, and similar things about friendships, relationships. We just talked. He basically said he lost 2 of his good friends, like not lost to passing, but just lost in life. And he's just like, no, I'm looking for relationship. And it's just funny. It's like 3 cases now that I've been in the last couple of days. It's relationship. That's why I'm like, that's a God thing. But 2, it's something I've been praying for. It's just like, man, like for instance, on social media, I spend all my time like pouring into people. I speak on mental health. I speak on self-improvement, overcoming. I'm a faith-based. I always say I don't like preaching, but like if it come out of me, it come out of me. Like that's who I am.
You see, I just started bringing the Bible. Like, I'm not a preacher though.
Because I don't like them corny Christians. I'm Lawrence.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say there's a lot of times you pour so much energy, and it's been a blessing to have people like my account's been growing and people pour back into me. But a lot of times you build stuff, you write, you read just to pour out. There's nothing coming back.
Yeah.
And for instance, my account's growing like crazy. Like this last 30 days, I had 7.3 million people on my account. It's a blessing. Mm-hmm. But I would think, my boys would be like, hey, like that's dope. Like, but nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not me. I'm like, maybe they don't get it. They don't understand social media. But it's just like, damn, it would be nice to talk to somebody about like, okay, what I'm going through, what, so I say all that to say that the friendship thing has been in my mind over and over and over again. And even having this podcast is so funny because I have a podcast, but I haven't done a podcast with a guest in a while because I'm
You
so
need to
focused.
bring me.
Yeah. And I'm saying that because it's like, people love the content that I'm putting out, and man, they help me. So in my head, I'm like, okay, put it out, solos. But like for me though, I don't have. I be telling people like, dang, you're so funny, you're all this. I know, but I don't have friends like that. I don't think. I really don't. Like I have people like if you look at my phone messages, like you said,
gotta meet them. You're gonna have to get active.
That's what I'm saying. It's
no excuse though. Just say, hey, God, you gotta send me friends in this area, and He will.
I know but the main thing I'm saying is it's a challenge. It goes back to transition that we were talking about. It's like when you're going, how do you take your eye off the prize, off the bullseye, to meet friends when you don't? There's more barriers to entry to even meet people in college. Oh, you play a sport, boom, it's easy because we're on the same team. We see each other every single day. You don't have to in this stage meet someone if you don't want to. You don't have to. And if you go to the gym, you don't have enough connection, touch points to know, oh, do I like you? You would have to go over and over and over, back to that same gym, to that same situation, over to meet that person. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how do you find that? That's the challenge.
And me, you won't really catch me. You can see me at that gym one day. I'm at solid quarter next. It's very hard. But I say this to say, because I have a friend. I might introduce you to her, actually.
What?
I might introduce you to her because y'all touched on a lot of similar points, and she wants to date, right? And we had these conversations as girls. She'd be like, a lot of my friends, so obviously I don't be dating, right? I mean, but I do go on dates. I make sure that I make a time to even go on a date. If somebody asks me, you can at least go on one date with me. Now, if you see me again, probably not. If it ain't go, but I will. If you check off like the minimum boxes of like, how did you ask me? Was it respectful? I'll go on a date. I make sure that I have that social battery, right? That's my deal with God, obviously, to stay social. But I have a friend that don't go on no dates, but she wants to, and she'll ask me, how do you always meet so many people? Or like, how do you end up on a date? Or how do I know the people I know? And it'd be so funny because I don't have no answers. Because I wouldn't say, look. I would just say, go and do. I don't look. And I feel like I have friends that go look and they don't find nothing. And then you'll have me, I won't never look. And people just come find me. And I would just say be open because your spirit know if you closed off or if you open to that.
Yeah.
And love what you doing, but at least do what you love and make sure it's something sociable. So it could be still doing whatever you love, but maybe spending a little bit more time in the gym after, not immediately get out of here, got something to do. You get what I'm trying to say? Maybe like literally let me see somebody working out, or, it's just maybe linger a little bit, or like you said, go eat by yourself or go sit at the bar. Don't go eat by yourself and then go sit at the actual table in a corner, and I don't want to, it's just how it is. And I would just say this, I've been just paying attention a little bit more because this question keep asking me, how do I meet people? And I really be like, well, how do I go to Paris and end up at the Olympics in a suite in a box, didn't pay for nothing? Like, how do I? And really I think it's just your energy. Well, the person I asked, I said, well, what made you say something to me? And they said, because when I came in, we made eye contact and you smiled and then you turned your head and kept talking to your friend. So that's how much of I'm in my own world. Yeah. And I had the same friend at that same table. She wanted to go to a whole nother restaurant because somebody else was there. I was like, where we at? Is where we supposed to be.
Facts.
We not looking for nothing. Like they put our table in the corner, like you couldn't even see us. And she just wanted to go somewhere else, and she wanted to go where she thought everybody was going to be at. I'm enjoying myself wherever I go. Mm-hmm. And I said, what made you say something to me? And they said, because you made eye contact and you smiled. So some stuff just be as simple as just being kind or being hello, but I'm never looking. I didn't smile at you to come over here. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just really just, I would just try to be kind. And I just try to be not like a, you know what I'm saying? If somebody is good to approach me, they can approach me. Because I'm not going to be like, a guy was just on the street and I was coming here and he said, you are the most beautiful as a woman. I still turn around and stop and say thank you. And I treat everybody with respect. And sometimes that just work. You might not even know what's going on or who that person is or how that person, but I treat everybody with respect.
Why?
And just because that's I try to be I'm not going to say I walk like Jesus or I'm that close, but I try to make sure when you see me, you really see God. Like, it's not just a clothing brand. It's not just on God. It's on God. Like, things only God can do. But it's not the, like what you call it, the corny Christian. It's not that. It's really, if you're for God, people need to see God on you. Right. People need to see God when you speak. And that's not nobody that's just going to treat this person because they can do something for them. Nice. That's somebody that treats everybody nice with boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, that person spoke to you, speak back. Yeah. Or you here, enjoy yourself here. That's when God is in you. You everywhere. Like I told you, I have fun in the house. I be like, praise the Lord. Thank you, God. Last night I was praising, blasting my music, making lasagna. Like, I enjoy being with God. And I think, go ahead.
The last time you had a day that was tough, challenging, a struggle that you had to be like, I love you, God, but hey, bruh, it's not happening at the time that I want. I don't have no friends here. The funds ain't coming in like they should. What I see, my life and my vision, because you're really ambitious. It's not happening now, God. So what's happening? Your last painful struggle day, what did that look like if you walk me through it?
God is so funny. You know what I mean? Because if you look at the feeding of the 5,000, and even when God told Moses to count the people to take him in the promised land, he told him to line up in certain ways by the families, by the, the traditional values. Don't get me wrong, like the full stop. I be knowing what be going on, but I can't run it back to you. But he told him to line up. And Moses just listened. You know what I mean? And when you look at the illustration, it's in a cross. And these people never knew why they was lining up like that. And he had to count them all one by one. And God does things that we never understand. Not in it. A lot of times we like maybe after a year or two, you be like, actually, I needed that. Oh, actually, I had to go through that loss. Actually, it was molding me. And when he says lean not on your own understanding, it's a real thing. And I think we hear it, we read it, and sometimes it feel good, sometimes it don't. But if it feel like you're hurting, I promise you, I was just telling my friend, maturing is realizing life was never trying to beat you up. It was trying to get you in alignment. Because a lot of times when we start hurting or we not listening somewhere, it's something we not surrendering, something we not letting go, something we're trying to have control over instead of letting God have control over it. Because when you let God have control over it, I'm telling you, he coming through swinging and opening up doors that only he did. So when we like, oh my God, God, it's not happening because you want it to happen that way. But imagine it happening this way and then you go crash out and burn. And it's really protection. And I really feel like that. And I've lived through that in so many times where I seen God way really is the best way. And when you really start, I got a crazy faith. But what I say is, it's not a crazy faith because I've been homeless, right? I've had so many things when God told me to go. And he just be like, go. And I'm homeless now. And I'm like, damn, God, I'm sorry. I'm in my last $5. I don't got it. I'm sleeping in a motel. Money will fall out the sky. I kid you not. Random strangers will come fill when you know it's God because you never got to do extra for it. So random strangers come fill my gas tank up and walk away. Don't ask me for my number, nothing. Or even me just simple saying, I'm in Paris and I'm in Monaco. I want to go to the Olympics. The ticket's crazy expensive. I just said it to my friend. Boom. Next moment, somebody invite me to a whole club skybox. Best tickets. I got to see Sha'Carri run. That's my girl. That's one of my favorite runners. I like to see people come back and shake back. But it's just, it gets so simple, like where you could really say it. But I never question and be like, how? After I said that's what I want to do, I didn't go back and say how I'm going to do it. I didn't try to put it together. God just brought it to me. But I had those moments where I used to be like, well, God, it's not happening how I'm happening. But I always trusted him because we kind of, I didn't grow up going to church. I grew up, and like I say, the Holy Spirit praying to God. It's a real close-knit relationship. So I didn't have nobody filter in that relationship between me and God. I always been able to hear it. So when I was homeless, he told me go to Atlanta. I'm homeless, but you told me to go. Boom, 2 months later, I'm on TV. I'm on Rip the Runway. BET flew me out to 106 Park. Like, I've seen him show up every time, so I try to remember that because he has shown up. So when you getting upset, it's you're getting upset. And then if you go back in the book of Kings 3:12, which is actually my birthday, I'm good with numbers, but he said the only thing we really supposed to ask for is wisdom and understanding heart. And you know why? You know why we supposed to ask for that? We ask for things and we not even ready for that aftermath. People like, I pray for strength, and they give more battles to be strong. They pray for, I need this. I pray for this. I need this $10 million house tomorrow. You get this $10 million house, but you miss learning how to manage money. Now you out that house. Or you can't, you get what I'm trying to say? You in a whole different, but if you got wisdom and an understanding heart and you following God, you going to get everything you want anyway, and it's going to last. God not an Indian giver. It's going to really last, and you going to know how to be grateful. You going to know how to enjoy the journey. But when we want things, you don't even know if you're ready for that. You know what I mean? Say, I'm like, God, I need to get married tomorrow. And I've actually made a list before. And I'm like, God, I want this and that on my list. I put 10 things down. That person came out of nowhere. Terrible person. I forgot a couple things on there. I wasn't even wise enough to pick. You need to make sure he is very kind. And you give him, you put everything else on there. The tall, the this, the that. But you didn't put his character to make sure he healed. You know what I mean? But if I would have just said, God, all I need is a wisdom and understanding heart, I would have enough discernment to know. Oh, God sent me, this is a good person. Let me this is a bad person, walk away. We only supposed to ask for two things. We pray, we put a lot, because words are like spells, right? But we put a lot of battles on ourselves and don't even know it. Just praying wrong. And that's what people don't like to talk about. God, can you please let this happen? What if he really did not want you for that to happen? But he's such a good guy. He'll let you go experience it. But it's about to cause you a whole heap of trouble.
To take it to a different place, and one, thank you for sharing all that. I think it's powerful to know that somebody now, you're someone with a lot of energy, you're courageous, you speak boldly on your faith, you're ambitious. You spoke about being homeless. And that's something I've never experienced. I know a lot of people haven't experienced that. If you were to walk me back, if you were to take me through that journey, if I was behind your eyes in that time where you're homeless, what does that look like? How do you feel? What do you see? What viewpoint and perspective do you view life? What lens do you have about yourself, your beliefs about yourself, and what you can do in the world? Like, if you were to take me there.
It's so crazy. That's a good question. Well, I was in a relationship, but it was like, I'm like 18, 19, and I'm talking to like a guy that's in the streets, and, we got everything, like, not everything, but if you was from Detroit, y'all got matching cars. He got spinners on his cars. Like, we got watches, jewelry. We got, I got bags. It's just all the fake stuff that's really not grounded. And I went to church one day. And I wasn't going to church every Sunday, but I just, if somebody invited me to church, I liked the church, I started going, and I heard the message. It was a light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever it was, it stayed on me, and I knew it was talking to me. The couple nights before that, I was watching TV, and I had started crying. And my boyfriend was like, why are you crying? I was just like, I feel like there's more for me in life, and this is not it. And I'm about to get ready to make some of the same mistakes my mom made. And he just, relationships is the most important thing you can do in life, just being with certain people, your life could really alter too. So remember I told you relationships is important, but getting with somebody that's also, your whole life can change. There's so many people whole life then, they turn to drugs, turn to abuse. They just lost themselves because of bad relationships as well. That's the other part about it. Some relationships can lift you, some relationships could drain you and just, you would never recover. So, the light was at the end of the tunnel, and I just heard God say, go. And I was like, dang, I ain't got no money to go right now. And I went and told my mom, I said, Mom, I think I should move to Atlanta. She was like, well, you should save up enough money. You don't got no money right now. And I had some money, but my boyfriend had got shot, and I wanted to get him my money to show him I'm with him, to put him back on. And, it was just, I had $500, and he said, I told you to go. And if you trust me, go right now. And she said, don't go. I got on my knees, and I was in front of my mom actually doing this. And it was so crazy. I don't know why I got on my knees. And I was like, it's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I've always heard that voice. And I said, I'm going. So I got in that car. I packed up everything. He thought I was playing, and I left and never came back. And whatever it came with. But I got blessed so much, tremendously. Like, every step of the way, he was there. And everything I wanted to do, I've done because I was in obedience and listened and said, go. So
what did it come with?
Just things that I wanted to do. And it was just so like, it was just so flabbergasted. God, I want to be on TV. God, I want to model. God, I want to act. Everything I did, it was through God. I'm like, I want to meet this person. I got in a movie with Morgan Freeman, and it was just like I was an extra in the background. And, it was things that God could do. Like the whole set stopped, and Morgan Freeman stops and said, put her in this scene, like make a whole scene for me that's not even in the script. You give it up. It's things that God does, you know what I mean? Or for me, even being able to come back home and say, I want to dance for the Detroit Pistons. And we never had a basketball team in actual Detroit. And the girls are not from Detroit. I've never had no professional dance experience in my life. I came back and made that team at like 26. Never had no professional dance experience in my life. My mom never put me in dance class. I always loved to dance, but I taught myself how to dance in a mirror. So to go out there and do all the moves that they know how to do and make that team, that's a God experience. That's stuff that God could do. And then after that, he said, okay, now you done did everything you want to do, because I still wasn't fulfilled. He said, well, you told me that when I let you accomplish everything, because God's so cool. Like, we made that deal when I was homeless. I said, God, if you let me accomplish everything, you can come back and use me. He said, all right, now. You did everything? All right, it's your time. Let me come back and use you. Okay. So that's what it was. So it was just like, what took me through that moment was just remembering what God said and just trusting in him. I was like, if all else fail, you can always drive and go back home. But I'd rather have a oh well than a what if. And so I'm like, what if? No, oh well, I did it first. And, you know, that's what happened. And I ain't never had to have a oh well. It's always been up.
It's always been up. I'll ask a different question, though. I know
gotta
we
get
got
out
close.
of here. Yeah.
But what did it cost you, though? You know, you talked about what you've gained, but you left.
It's an internal battle. It didn't really cost you anything, because at that moment, God used strangers. God gonna use whoever he need to get through to you if you're in his grace. He can make everything happen. Like I just told you, money was falling out of the sky. I look up, it'll be a $20 bill. Look up, it'll be a $50 bill. Like, nobody else is here. Like, where did this come from? You know what I mean? And that's how God works. And I would say, what it cost me, I can't even remember, because it's just that small. Maybe some tears, maybe some battles in your mind. Like, should I? But overcome it every time. I would just recite what God told me. I say, no, I believe in myself. I could do this. I'm going to be successful. I can make it. And just re-saying that, instead of letting that negative thought, I would just keep saying that over and over, and boom, it goes just how I said it. Like, when I opened up my stores, my hair stores and all that stuff, and everybody like, you shouldn't open it up. It costs too much money. I believe in myself. I just keep repeating that over and over, still working. And so what it cost me, I don't even know, because it really don't even matter no more. I really couldn't even go back and be like, oh, it cost me this. It just really more of an internal battle. Because what I gained is way more than I'm blown away every day. So I'm here right now because I'm still in obedience. I'm waiting to be blown away because I know it's on the way.
Waiting to be blown away. Well, thank you for having me on. It's been cool.
And he done interviewed me, y'all, so I'm coming on his podcast. So, yeah, and I'm going to rechange the game. Well, shout your podcast out so they can know.
Mindbullypodcast, at Mindbullypodcast on IG. At King No _, on IG, Mindbullypodcast, all platforms. But no, it's been good to just hear your story. A lot of times you do things and you want to interview somebody, but it's good to hear your own story. And then you're like, dang, I have been through this. I have overcome this. So it also gives your listeners a different side of you. So thank you.
Well, I'm coming to give your listeners a different side of you. So I will be on the Mind Bully podcast. Your podcast is good, but you're dope. I went on your page before I came here because I was looking for some questions that I never got to answer. And I was like, okay, his page is growing. From the last time I even seen you, your page is growing. So that, you know what that is, growth. I like to think I played a little role in that, but I ain't want to say nothing. You know, I seen his reels been going crazy. I said, get started. But, you know, anybody that's growing, them the people you want to grow with. And long as you can see growth, it don't matter where you been or nothing. Long as you not in that same spot. Right. Long as I went back on your page and it ain't went down and it went up, you on the right track.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. See y'all later. Thank you for watching. On God.
On God. That's cool.